Hello and welcome to another weekly Tech Director Parent Tech Bite. Today we're talking about Engage, our MIS, and hopefully we're going to be engaging with Engage. Um, I'm hoping it will be useful. We've introduced that since August 2023. We've had some communications. I just want to share the thought process behind it, sort of some of the thinking and the reasons why it was introduced, and hopefully get a better understanding of what we have at the moment. When we look at technology, I look at technology as relationship with people. So if we look at a relationship with people, and if there's a problem or there's something not working, whether it's your colleague or your partner or your sibling or any relationship, rather than move away from that relationship, my argument would be, and I think normal argument would be, to just see where is that problem, communicate what that problem is, and talk to individuals concerning that. And for me, technology very similar. If you have introduced a technology, let's discuss with the people who are talking, where is it working, is it not working, and if it's not working, why is it not working? And for me, technology is it's part of that, understanding the needs of the user, and the relationships that technology and human beings build, and really, before cutting ties with a particular technology, understand the relationship. So I just want to highlight that um, when I did take over as IT director, the decision to move away from SIMS, which was our previous management information system (MIS), to Engage, that was already decided. My job was to implement that. Again, my view would have been to look at MIS, SIMS MIS, the old one, and say, look, what's not working? How can we improve it? Because fundamentally, an MIS is an MIS, with different variations. Um, and hopefully we can look at the pros and cons of Engage. One of the change management process that I had implemented is Kurt Lowen's. I'm a massive fan of that. It's a in our case, Engage is a 3-year cycle where we unfreeze, which was the last year. We looked at, look, what is it isn't working? How can Engage now sort of help with some of the issues that we're having? Considering that that decision's already been made, that we are moving to Engage. This year is about change, right? What is changing? What has changed? Is Has that change met our needs? And then next year we'll be freezing, right? We've done that. We've made the changes. Let's document it now and officially document. This is how we do, etc. This is how we do the reports. This is how we communicate with parents. This is how we share certain documents, etc., etc. So I'm hoping within the next academic year we'll have some sort of a thought process, some sort of a systematic, documented change management process when we talk about Engage. I'm a massive fan of experience over design, and I've chosen this picture on purpose. And that is, if I was a user in this design, what would I do? I would do exactly the gentleman would do. If I want to go to the left, I would not go straight and then go left when I can just cut that corner. Although there's not a path there, I would create my own shortcut path and I would go straight there. So again, user experience, in my opinion, trumps design. Um, Design is there in mind by certain people who may not be the users or who may have used it. And in this case, Engage, you are the users. We've got teacher users, student users, parent users. When it comes to parent users, your experience is vitally important. Please communicate with me to say, look, this is working, this is fantastic, but this isn't. Can the system do that? If the system can accommodate and it fits within our policies, I will certainly try to make those changes. So your experience, or your feedback rather, is really, really important when we talk about Engage in this context. Our yearly focus has been, so last year was setting the vision for technology and digital citizenship, unfreezing a lot of those things. And then this year is it's about training. This year focus has been training. So I've got training sessions with teachers, we'll be having with students, and we've already started with weekly tech bites with parents. That includes either me writing something or delivering something. And at the moment, I've had weekly sessions. on certain topics that I think are important. And the next year, it would be freezing, clarifying and cementing those processes that we've worked on in year one and year two. Just a reminder, our tech vision is at NCBIS, we view technology as a tool through which we create, collaborate, challenge, and reflect. And this is our main purpose of introducing technology at NCBIS. In terms of digital citizenship definition, we've defined that as digital citizenship is the responsible use of technology to learn, create, and participate. And me sharing some of the responsible use is part of this definition. We also have a digital strategy, try to keep it as simple as possible. As a strategy, we're trying to move more towards cloud. So we're not restricted to a particular browser or a particular device, where our teaching and learning happens, most of it online. So it's anytime, anywhere, as long as you have a username and password. I'm a great fan of less is more. Technology is fantastic, but it has a time and place. And if we are focused on what we want from technology and only use it when we need it, I really think we'll achieve a lot more from that. And lastly, standardize. We want to standardize experiences, because through shared experiences, we're able to improve and become better. So that's a very simplified version of our digital strategy at NCBIS. So we're now on the year two, which is the change part. I want to give an example about relationship with technology, communication, and human beings. And I want to use the example of a delete button. I'm a massive fan. I think you know from my previous sessions, I'm a massive fan of the Apple ecosystem. I just think it's easier. It has security built in, and the ecosystem works quite well. It's a company that has control over hardware and software processes, so they're able to unify the user experience from a mobile phone to an iPad to a tablet to a PC, to a laptop or a personal computer. They've unified that experience, and they're in control of that experience. And during that process of unifying that ecosystem at our home, I was trying to convince my wife that, look, let's get rid of the PCs, let's get rid of the Windows environment, and let's go through Mac. And I already had a Mac. She resisted for a very long time until I asked a very simple question, and I should have asked earlier. I said, what is it? What is it about the Mac that you don't like? Why are you so resistant with the Apple Mac? The one answer was delete button. And if you're a Mac user, and if you're a PC user, you would know that the Mac actually doesn't have a button called delete button. There's a backspace button, but not a delete button. It was then I realized, so this is what's holding you back in adopting new technology, which I think is better and would be better. And I think it is overall better. And I explained, it does have a delete button. It's just not called delete. So you have to press another button with the backspace, and that backspace works as a delete button. It wasn't ideal, but we came to a compromise that at least have a delete button. At least let's try it. So we now have an Apple Mac ecosystem at home. But had I not asked the most relevant question, or user experience and how they use it and their relationship with technology, and I think we would have been stuck. So just reinforcing my point that, look, relationships with technology are important, and we have to understand that. And user experience linked with that relationship is extremely important. My view, change happens at the rate of trust. I'm trying to build that trust with the community to say, look, when we do things, we do it with certain things in mind. When we adopt some, these are the thinkings behind, or at least my thinking behind why we have adopted certain change or certain technology. So I view technology as another being and as another person. So who's joining us? When we talk about a teacher, we have a new geography teacher, or we have a new principal, or we have somebody new, somebody physical. And I view technology in a very similar way. So who is joining us, or rather, who has joined us in August? And that was Engage. So the Engage Management Information System for communication, for the ECAs, for the Parents' Evening, and for the Parent, Staff, and Student Portal. That's who joined us from August. It's like an all-in-one solution. Who left us? Quite a few, actually. SIMS was our management information system, which means all our student, parent, and staff details were kept on SIMS. Sims didn't really have a good solution when it came to Parents' Evening or the ECA. So we had to go to something called School Cloud. School Cloud specialized in ECA organization and Parents' Evening. And then School Cloud would actually communicate with Sims. And then, of course, Sims didn't have a very good system when it came to parent and student portal. So we used EduLink, sorry, parent and student and staff portal. So we used EduLink, another third-party application. So now we have a one and all solution, a jack of all trades, as we say. And previously we had experts. So Sims was an expert in data management, School Clouds was an expert in ECA and in Parents' Evening, and EduLink was a specialist in portal, and they would communicate together. And that's how it worked. But we've removed all of them from our system. So they've left us. Our team member or our new team member is Engage. Engage has a new structure. I've introduced something called a new RACI matrix. So we looked at who's responsible, accountable, and who should be consulted and informed. So that's the RACI matrix. Previously, it would be one person that was responsible for Sims. And when that one person left, there was nobody else in the school that were able to manage that. So when I came into school, that Sims person had left. So it was quite difficult to get used to a system that nobody in the school knows how to use, or very few people. Whereas now, as you would have realized, we have an ECA coordinator responsible for the ECA part of Engage. We have the academic team responsible for the pastoral side, and the report side. Then we have the pastoral side and the academic pastoral side. So they're responsible for the pastoral. I do apologize for the miscommunication there. But we have the pastoral team in the primary and secondary responsible for the pastoral side of the Engage, which is called the Daybook. And then we have the report side, which is covered by the academic seat in primary and secondary. We also have other elements to it. We have an Engage coordinator that looks after the portals. So that's a student portal, staff portal, and parent portal, etc., etc. So it's compartmentalized, and we have two administrators that deal with the data and overall data, and that's myself and Mr. Yahya. So we're going to look at Engage Portal. And one of the things that we're going to look at, Engage Portal has parent app and student portal. However, Engage doesn't have a student app, and I'm very happy about that. And I talked about how we need to be careful and we need to reduce our student use of mobile phones. So the only way they can access their portal is through a web browser. It can be through a phone, but it's a little bit more difficult. But ideally, they should be accessing that through a laptop or a device. We have a parent app and we have a parent portal. We have a staff app and a staff portal. Today, I'm going to be talking about the parent portal, which is really very similar to the app. Right, when we look at parent portal, I'll show you the login or different elements of login. I'll go through the walkthrough option, some of the name options, the details, and have a look at the My Children, Daybook, activities, Parents' Evening, and DMS, and the calendar. So I'm going to look through that. I'll have other sessions later on that will look at other elements in a deeper sort of level, but this is sort of an introduction or a brief introduction to these areas, and something which you would have by now had exposure to. So if I look at that, I'm going to show you through my account. I'm going to log in as a parent. The email here is only a username. So it is my email that I've registered with, my personal email. However, my wife has access to that. And when she wants access to Engage, she'll have to put my email address. But that email address is just a unique username. It doesn't give anybody else access to my emails. And it's a unique password. And that password is shared between yourself and the partner, husband and wife. So my wife knows the password here because we've created it together. Once we do that, log in. Once you've logged in, this is the default screen for all parent portals. Depending on how many kids you have, if you've got more than 2 kids, you'll have them here. If you've got more than 2 kids, you'll have them here. If it's just 1 kid, they'll just be here. The first thing I want to talk about is the names. If you look at it here, it actually says Mr. Hussain and Mrs. Sayer. By default, what it does is it picks up the male name. So originally it said Mr. Atif Hussain. So whenever my wife would log in, it would just say Mr. Atif Hussain. So we decided that we wanted to change to represent us, Mr. Hussain, Mr. Hussain and Mrs. Sayer, which is her family name. You can request that too. So if you don't want it to appear just as the husband's name, you please send Rania Fadl, our engaged coordinator, and she'll be able to do that. If not, I'm happy to do it for you too. And we can change that and let us know how or what you would like to appear other than what it is. So that's a quick change that we can do manually. Walkthroughs there, if you forget some of the elements, if you click on it, it will just very quickly go through the key elements. Hi, welcome to the portal. Then it'll tell you different elements. You have to click next, next, and go through, and it will show you, and it'll actually give you some sort of a quick guide if you let it play, where to go and how to open. I would recommend doing that. I'm going to press cross, and it goes through the elements of that. So a walkthrough is always there as a help for you. On the left-hand side, you can close that. I personally prefer to keep it open because I always forget these icons or what they mean. If I go to my details, now there are two ways of looking at this detail. There are the numbers, emails, and addresses. Now the email addresses and the numbers, the emergency numbers, you can just click on where it says the icon. You can click on it and change. So if I put 444, press save, it will be saved. I can click on that. And then press save. And that happens instantly, automatically, and that will actually reflect on our engaged system. Whereas if you want to change the address, you can request a change. Click on that, type in your new address, and you can actually send that over. And that will come to the admissions team. So there is an email that will be notified, or they will be notified. I don't get notification on that. That's designed specifically for the admissions team. So that's in my detail. Then you've got other things like how you can change the password if you want to, and different types, and how many times you've logged in. Also, if you go to my children, now, no matter how many children you have, the information that's available is the same. So if I show you the details here, they're almost identical. So the first one, let's just say siblings, it will say, these are the siblings. You can have a timetable. So we've done that. What we've done is looked at the timetable, because now we follow 1 week timetable. We click on export, and that will actually export as a PDF. You can print it, put it in the fridge, and review it regularly, which is what we do. You've also got quick access here. You can view activities. Actually, in term 2 and 3, what activities do they have? On a Monday, they have these activities. On a Tuesday, and if on days there's empty, that means there are no activities on Monday, and we know there are no activities on a Thursday. So very quickly you can do that from just, if I click on here. If it's minimized like that, just click on that and it will open up options for you. You've also got people subjects, just a breakdown of what they teach. We will be going through sending notices. At the moment, we're not introducing notices. What it means is if I want to send a message to Mr. Cowley, click on that, send notice, and it will send notice to Mr. Cowley directly through this system rather than email. But we haven't introduced notices, and at a certain point, I'll have a separate session on my notices. So if you go into contact details, a little bit more information, people details, again, a little bit more information, please do check it. Again, user experience is far, far more important. Anything you see that's wrong, please let us know. Medical details, please confirm them. My son's allergic to certain things, so that information is there. Please double check that, and if it's incorrect, contact that relevant person. If it's medical information, please contact the doctor. If it's address, please contact the admissions. If it's subject related, academic related, please contact the offices. Now, every account has a DMS. DMS stands for Document Management System. Now, all the reports that are published go here. So if I go to the reports here, if I go to my daughter's DMS, click on that. In secondary, you get more reports, and you can view all the reports. So there's another CAP4 NRG report. Then you've got, so there are different types of reports. They'll be published on that child's DMS. You also have I'm going to jump across. You also have a DMS. These DMSs are sort of letters directly from Engage. So the only letter that we have sent directly from Engage is the parent portal login information, and that was on the 31st of August. That was quite a while back. And at the moment, that will be linked to yours. So the reports, any assessment related, will not be on my DMS, but rather you have to go to My Children and then the relevant children's DMS. Below that, it's points. Now, in primary school, they don't use Engage to record points. They use Dojo points, My Dojo. And that's on a different website. You'll have to refer to the primary team, the primary school, to say, look, can I know how many Dojo points my child has? Whereas in the secondary, we use the point system within Engage. So, for example, if you go to points, I will know my daughter has 142 points, and I can go down in the history, the reasons why she's got those points. That's positive and negative, by the way. So you'll have access to the positive and negative points. If there's a negative point, why did they receive a negative point, etc., etc. So we'll look at all of that, and all of that is on from points. You have attendance data. You have a weekly attendance data. It will automatically change from here. You have a monthly attendance data, and you also have a termly attendance data. At the moment, this is the termly attendance data. And of course, the assessment reports are on there as well. So again, please play around, have a look at it. Any concerns, please come back to me or Rania Fadl, our Engage coordinator. We're both here to help you to at least get a better understanding or to use it in a more productive way. Now, daybooks are, every child has a daybook attached to them. So you can see Adam has a daybook and Janine has a daybook. Daybooks are anything that's recorded on a day-to-day basis, whether that they've been in a detention been assigned to them, or there's been an incident in school, there's been a medical report, they've gone to see the doctor and they've been sent home, or there's been something serious that you need to be notified. Everything that will be documented is through Daybook. Daybooks are like online forms. And if a daybook has been filled in for Adam, as an example, if I click on Adam, there was an injury or we were away, you can leave requests, you can actually fill that in and that will stay there rather than search for emails. When did I send, or did the school send me an information about when my child was ill? It will all be on there. The other one is activities. I have gone through it. You can go through activity review for your children. By default, it will go through term through. Then you can go through how many children you have. So if let's just go through Janine and term 2 and 3 and search, it will give you an overview. And then if I go to Adam, 2, 3, give you an overview. If you want to have a look at what they did in term 1, search, it'll give you an overview. So very quick access to activities. Again, my DMS is anything that we've communicated through. Last one is my calendar. Now, my calendar also appears on the main page. This is just information that's there just so you can have access to it. If you don't want your calendar only here, what you can do is you can export an iCalendar. If you do that and choose a iCal URL. If you create that, what it will do is create this. You just need this URL and put that on your phone. If you're not how to show to do that, please come and see me, even the tech team. They'll be able to show you how you can download this calendar onto your phone, and then all of this will appear on your phone. I have it downloaded on mine, and some of the parents do also. So there's a different way rather than just accessing it through here, your calendar. And you've also got school website. It's just a square link. So if I click on that, you should be able to go to the school website. And by the way, while we're here, I'll give you a shout out to my blog. So if you go here, lovely website, go to menu, about us, and technology at NCBIS. And if you go down, once it's loaded, go down to the IT Director's blog. At the moment, I've only got 4 posts, but I will be putting more and more on there. Either videos. And by the way, let's just say you click on disconnect or connect, and one of them, I do write something about it, but the video is also there. Well, not in disconnected net, so I do apologize. let's just say your phone is not your friend. One of the sessions I did, I do give a sort of a synopsis of what we talked about, but also a link to my presentation. So if you click on that, it will then take you to the link to my presentation as well. Last of all, this is a communication called My Notices. We will be introducing that. There we go. We've got a notice from Miss Abu Noor, and it will be here. It's about a point that's been assigned to my daughter. At the bottom, it doesn't appear here, but right at the bottom, there's something called documents. I'll be sharing policies related to. So if you're in primary school policies, AUP, accepted legal policy, I'll be sharing some of those policies here. So that portal becomes your one-stop access to everything, really. Your calendar, your activities, the day book, details, ECAs, and policies, and you can actually communicate through that here as well. So if you communicate through here, you don't have to search through your emails to look at when you sent something, when something was sent to you. So this is a very quick and brief introduction to Engage. I do want to do more. If you do have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me at atif.hussein@ncbis.co.uk or rania.fadl@ncbis.co.uk. Hope this was useful. And I hope to see you during our next Parent Tech Bite.